Hi everybody, I'm back again, and today I'm going to talk to you about Mars, the planet Mars. Okay, and as always, the information that I've got was given to us by the Great White Brotherhood, which I'm going to read exactly as I got it, and then I'm going to explain any bits that you may find a bit confusing or difficult to understand. Okay, now before I start, before I start, if you know the collective wisdom story about Mars and planet Earth, people say that humanity was on Mars and it was attacked, and then humanity came down to Earth, and that's where we all came from, and so on and so on. Now, the Great White Brotherhood tell a different story, but in some ways it's very similar, because most of aliens are actually humans like us, but that didn't take physical form, that stayed in the astral realms and have advanced much more not much more quickly than us, but because they haven't had any of the catastrophic events that we've had, that wipe us out occasionally and we have to restart all over again, they're much more advanced. That's why they've got all this space travel and stuff. But they are actually astral beings living in the astral realms, okay? But you'll see a bit of a correlation between the two stories. But I'm going to start now, okay? Mars. The planet Mars, like much of the galaxy, was created by the law of mutual attraction many billions of years ago. That just means that by the law of mutual attraction, bits of dust and so on in the atmosphere were gradually drawn together and formed the galaxy that we now see around us. Its function was and is not to contain life, but to play a role in the galaxy as an organ of life for the galaxy. Just as we humans have organs, heart, liver, spleen, and several other essential parts to us, the planet Mars is an organ of the galaxy. Now, what that means is that the galaxy is every bit as alive as you and I are. And as all is one, the different things that we've got, the different organs that we've got, and the different auras that we've got, the galaxy also has. And when they're talking about the galaxy, I don't think they mean the entire galaxy. I think they mean the part that's surrounding our sun. And the planet Mars is one of those organs, a bit like we've got hearts and livers and spleens and all the other things, okay? That doesn't really matter. They're just explaining something. So, it was never intended to have life on the surface, and so it was never given an atmosphere that humans could breathe. However, from time to time, aliens in the astral realms drew close to Mars and put robots, E-bends, you know, the little greys and the mantis beings and all the rest that we occasionally see here on the planet Earth. They are physical objects made by these aliens, and well, I'll go on and explain it. They put robots especially constructed to withstand the extremes of temperature that a planet without an atmosphere to mitigate the extremes of hot and cold needed to do. So these aliens, when they drew close to the planet Mars in the astral realms, they created these robotic life forms and put them down on the surface. Right. These robots were sent out over the surface of Mars to explore its possibilities for any sort of exploitation. This proved by and large a fruitless search, like many of the planets in our galaxy. But these robotic creations did cover all of the surface of Mars in their quest to fulfill the mission which their masters sent them forth to do. So, although they were talking about a long time ago, perhaps that's why we can still see tracks on the surface of Mars that people think that it's created by beings up there. They were actually created by these robotic entities. We must understand that aliens who live in the astral realms are actually humans who chose neither to stay in heaven nor to incarnate on earth, but in astral form draw close to certain planets. But they are humans and have all the strengths and weaknesses that we do. Various groups grew close to Mars and disputed the right of ownership of that planet. We must understand that these aliens had created spacecraft just as they have today and transported their robots in them exactly as they do today. Eventually, a conflict broke out amongst the various groups and battles were fought in the air over Mars and on its surface using the weapons that these human aliens had developed. The result was somewhat cataclysmic, and although Mars was never a beautiful planet compared to Earth, it was reduced to the state that it is today. Eventually, the winners of this long drawn-out battle were the reptilians, which I've already mentioned. Reptilians, in case you haven't seen the video I made about them, are a race that actually live under the surface of planet Earth. They're native to planet Earth, but they have a long time ago developed space travel and the ability to move into the etheric realms and so on. So they can act very much the way aliens act. Okay? I'll repeat this bit. Eventually, the winners of this long drawn-out battle were the reptilians. Reptilians, as has already been explained, are a race that originated on Earth, the same what I was just saying, but have long since developed space travel and terrible weapons. The human aliens stood little chance compared to the dominant power of the reptilians, and so these human aliens, abandoned Mars and, in their flying ships, the UFOs, drew close to Earth and, with their robots, started to explore planet Earth. However, the warfaring faction of the reptilians stayed close to Mars and to this day guard it jealously. Being able to operate both in a physical fashion and in an etheric way, they keep a watchful eye on Mars, not because they hope to exploit it in any way, but simply because it is in the nature of reptilians to guard and to hold what they consider to be theirs. It has been suggested in recent times that Earth people have inhabited Mars, but this story is not true. It is false information implanted in the minds of certain people by reptilian influence doctors and scientists in an attempt to divert people on Earth from the fact that the reptilians control both the surface and the etheric realm surrounding Mars. Now, I'm probably going to upset some people by saying that, because there are relatively few people, but nevertheless some people, that say that they spent long years on Mars in military projects and so on. But apparently it's not actually true, and it's false memories that's been implanted in their minds. And I'm sorry if what I say contradicts what they think, because I've no reason and no desire to upset anybody. So if a human attempted to land a spacecraft on the surface of Mars, they would soon have to confront angry and jealous reptilians who would, in all probability, exterminate them. The only beings that were allowed to land on Mars were the creator race that built guiding pyramids, the use of which were radio masts guiding spacefaring people as they move through the galaxy. And once again, I've made a video about that, talking about what the pyramids serve for and as. Obviously, earthly authorities are aware of the situation regarding Mars and will not attempt to inhabit that planet, all the while the reptilians guard it. It is because of the long years of conflict that took place on the surface and above the planet that Mars is known as the god of war. And that's the end of what I was told. Okay? Excuse me. So, let me have a quick drink of water. Put it down here today. Right. So, it would appear that this battle for the planet Mars was not between Earth people and others, but between different groups of aliens and the reptilians. And the reptilians won, and they're still guarding the planet. And apparently, we've never been there. Okay? So, I'll stop there. Any questions, please ask. And I thank you, as always, for listening. I hope it made sense. And I'll come back another day and talk to you about another subject. Okay? Bye.